going on?
What's the word, Dan? Hey, did you also see that Brazilian airplane?
I heard about it that it
Oh,
went
dude, you
down real
gotta,
fast. I
bro.
saw a little clip of it, but I didn't see. I was
I
at work.
loaded it up. Want to see it real quick?
Okay.
You can see it right on your screen.
I mean, not yet.
No, but I'm saying you can see the show on the screen right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, well check this out. That thing's falling straight down. How'd that happen?
I think that what happened was
Get this shit.
I think it was. I think it iced out.
Okay, there. Yeah, like
They said that there was like where that plane was flying. There was
uh,
extreme icing potential, and if a plane gets covered in ice, then it drops.
no, well, I don't know, bro. I mean, the planes have to have like forward momentum. You know what I mean? Like how the hell could all of its forward momentum completely shut down where it falls directly downward? you know,
It
like
looks like it's not. Yeah, it
like
looks like it's just falling.
even
Like
if
it's not.
that happened, like they have warning signs. I'm assuming in the plane, so this guy should at least the pilot should at least said, "All right, we're having trouble. Oh shit, we lost all power. Let me try to glide plane down." But he didn't even get that opportunity, like to even try to glide it into a crash. So
Yeah, I
he,
don't know. I don't know what's going on
I
there.
just never seen that. It dropped like almost as if it was moving and just froze and then fell straight downward.
Yeah, it looks like it's not even having any forward
It's like a
momentum.
straight line straight down. Like just looks weird as hell. Like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's like it was just up there stationary and then it just fell.
Yeah, you know what I mean? like
It's not.
somebody,
Yeah,
like
it's not
God picked
moving
it up and just
forward.
dropped it and just it's just
Yeah, yeah. Like it's
61,
someone dropped it,
61 people
right?
died. So it must have been, I don't know what kind of plane it was, but it must have been
It was
pretty
some
big.
sort of European plane. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, yeah. Bro, I should have
It was
just
made in Europe. It's 14 years old. I know that.
okay. I don't understand. Somebody on Twitter tried to explain it that the heavy like the heavy part of it would be in the rear, would end up in the rear of the plane for some reason, and it would. I don't forget how he explained it, but he tried to science it out. I'm like, fuck, that shit just looks weird.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything going on here other than a plane crash, but maybe
Well,
there is. Maybe not.
well,
I don't
people try
know.
to make a connection. This happens, and then Trump had. You heard about that? Trump had airplane trouble. He had to do an emergency landing
Yeah, yeah,
in Montana or some shit. So everybody's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
so this happens, and then Trump has trouble. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really, speculate that there's anything going on here other than just mechanicals. But maybe there is, maybe there's not. I don't know.
I'll speculate for you, bro. It was the government, and they have some sort of fucking machine that just cuts all power, and
They
they're just
shot it with
testing.
a directed EMP.
Yeah, there you go. They're just testing it out, and
No, if they
fuck,
could do that, they would have did it to Trump's plane. I mean, I guess they could do that.
maybe this Trump's plane's next. That's why they did this.
Yeah, yeah,
Fuck.
maybe.
Let's
I don't
not that
know,
in
man.
the air. We'll say a prayer tonight and say that's not the case. Because yeah, that's where he's the most vulnerable, bro, and that's where they'll get away with everything if they did that shit, man. There's no way they can
Right, right.
make that connection. Anybody. Yeah, I thought that shit was weird right there.
It
But
does look, but I don't know. There's not enough information yet, and I don't know. Is there anybody important on board? Why would they drop this plane? I don't know. Or just a practice thing? I don't know.
well, yeah, I mean, if it
I'm gonna
was,
assume I mean I'm just gonna go right now with these are just mechanical issues. That plane crashed for mechanical or icing. Trump's was just a mechanical. Unless I mean I would need to have more of something to start actually going conspiracy on these.
no,
Sometimes,
I
sometimes,
thought there's, yeah, I thought there's a
sometimes,
connection.
uh, you know, a duck is just a duck, right, or whatever. Sometimes what happens is just what happened. It's just there is nothing there, and so we don't know yet. It could be, but I don't know. I can't say there is. I don't.
Well, this one in particular, I would just assume the plane is ascending, it's going upward because it's still like I'm assuming that's still Brazil right there, so it probably just took off, and as it ascending, he starts losing power, and then slowly, it's not moving forward anymore. And I don't know, it's not gonna go backwards. You know what I mean? But how does the pilot not have enough time to react to like dip it and see if he could glide it down and try to crash or land that way or crash that way, at least make an attempt. This
I
one
mean, it
seems like,
looks like to me like it doesn't have any power right now.
yeah,
Like when
yeah,
it's
like this.
like the motors are off.
They're calling it a crash, but this is just like a drop. Like, you mean, usually a plane will go forward, even it'll dip down. See right there, like it's dipping a little bit, but how does he
Hardly, yeah.
not even have any momentum to glide it forward to crash that way? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like to
I mean,
try
because
to.
it's already momentum's going forward when whatever happens happens. So what stopped that? That's weird.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So even if it was ice, anything, he would at least have a chance to. I'm assuming he would have a chance or enough time to realize that and start dipping the plane so he could see if he could land it somewhere. But this seems
Well, and
like
on
he just got
on
power cut
top of
off
that,
and all momentum cut off, and it just went straight downward.
like yeah, and on top of that, like the way it's falling, it should be going forward some too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but
Which
he,
that part is weird. I'll give you that.
yeah.
I don't know what to
Well,
make of
that's the
that.
first thing I thought when I saw it. I was like, how does it just drop
It
straight
almost looks
directly?
like it almost looks like a car that ran out of gas, right?
Yeah,
In the sky. Like he's flying the plane and then he ran out of gas. The motor stopped and then he just kept flying until he lost all momentum and then it just dropped.
yeah.
Kind of what it looks like, but I don't know.
That shit just look weird to me, man. All right. Well, let's just do a quick recap on the new footage from last week on the Trump assassination. So I got this footage right here loaded up. So let's just watch this.
Okay.
And this is the only new footage, right? From what
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. It's really the only thing I've seen since the last one, but it's a
They
big
really
one.
need to do like a digital recreation of this whole scene. Like what I want to see is the view from the sniper that killed Crooks. What the hell did he
Right.
see? Like, you know what I mean? If his view had a if he was able to shoot him, must have saw him, so he must have been there in front
No,
of him
you know what happened there?
the whole
There
time.
is one more. There is one more thing that happened that I found out. So what happens there is Crook shoots his shots. Then there's a cop on the side on his right side, on Crook's right side of the building, not on the building but below it, and he takes a shot up at Crooks.
What?
And
Really?
yeah, and then Crook. That's when Crooks he raises his head and looks over there. That's when the sniper hits him. When he lifts up to see who's shooting at him, then the counter sniper shoots him. So yeah, we didn't know that, but there is a cop who takes a shot at him from the side. So there's one cop out there who actually made some damn sense. He took a shot.
Wow. I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that at all.
Yeah, I don't
So
have video of that, but in the audio you can hear the shot. So there's actually nine, not eight.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask. Yeah, you hear that then yeah,
Or
because
well, actually there's 10, not nine, because there's eight from Crooks, one from the Secret Service sniper, and one from the cop. But and that's what I heard. I haven't seen the video, but anyway, what for whatever reason, whether the cop shot at him or not, he does lift up his head and look to the right at some people down there, and
yeah,
that's when he lifts up, he gets shot. He exposes himself because he is in a relatively concealed position from the sniper with that slope.
really.
So you could see his head and maybe the rifle barrel, from where he's at, where he's shooting but the sniper can't see most of his body. Probably just sees the top of his head or maybe his whole head. But when he lifts up, he really becomes a big target, and that's when he hits him. You can see
Wow.
it. There is picture of him sitting up, looking over. He's raised up, and that's when he takes the shot.
Hold on, but
That's
the
the
only reason
picture.
that kind of doesn't even make sense is because of that video of the guy that got shot, where you could see Crooks running across the roof, even from Trump's vantage point. So how is it that the sniper wouldn't be able to see him if Trump could have saw him? So they had
Well,
to have
I'm
seen
not.
him. Like, it just doesn't.
I'm not saying that they
Shit
didn't
don't.
see him before that. I'm just saying when he got shot,
Yeah.
Like when he was in his prone position with a bit of cover because of the downslope on the side he was on. He you wouldn't have been able to see most of him, but when he raises up, you could see a lot of him. So I'm just saying that made a better target for the
Yeah.
Secret Service. Now, whether they could see him before that or earlier, even and dealt with him then, I'm not saying that they didn't and they couldn't. I'm just saying when they did shoot him, I know that he raised up because it's on video, and then he gets shot.
I was listening to Tim Cast, or Tim Pool, whatever, the other day. He had some retired or ex FBI agent that I guess or became a whistleblower in 2022,
Uh
and
huh.
he had like all this expertise, and he was able to break down exactly how Secret Service, FBI, and local police all work and how they set things up. He thinks it was all 100% a coincidence, that there's no conspiracy. He thinks it really was just like 1,000 different just scenarios of incompetence, basically, that led to this. And
And I could agree with that, but like we said in the last podcast, I would agree with that being a real possibility if they hadn't gone at Trump so hard over the years, like insanely hard, and the FBI didn't come, or the Secret Service didn't come before Congress and lie about his social media, try to paint him as a right wing extremist when he's actually a left wing, and they knew it because the owner came out and exposed the Secret Service for lying to Congress and the American people under oath. That guy should be in jail. Then if he wasn't in the BlackRock commercial and the BlackRock subsidiary Austin Wealth didn't try to short sell 12 million shares, and if Crooks wasn't getting regular visits and phone calls from Washington D.C. right
yeah,
in a building that has 11 floors with one floor being FBI, right? He's getting visits from Washington D.C. and phone calls regular, So and then you got the government lying under oath about him. And then you got BlackRock, who he's in a video with a year before, whose subsidiary tries to short sell 12 million shares for $200 million the day he gets assassinated. How would they know to do it that day?
yeah.
Right? It's all. So I would get on board with what that whistleblower is saying, or at least I would be inclined to believe him. But how is this whistleblower? I'm going to say the whistleblower is full of crap, double agent, because
That's what I felt. That's what
how
vibe
is
I
an
got.
FBI? I didn't even see it, but how is an FBI agent not going to address the points I just addressed?
Yeah, no, he didn't bring up
Right.
any of that stuff.
Right.
He was just focused on what happened that day and how they were dealing with everything. But nah, I mean, for me, it's just basically kind of what I said too last week. Was just it's just always too much of a coincidence, like that it works out perfectly for these, I mean, tyrant government people and shit. I mean, the right person always dies that gets out to get out of their way. Like
Right.
the good person always dies. He's always being the one that's shot and killed, and I mean, it always works out for them. Like fucking and Trump is the next one. You know what I mean? Like it's just too
Right.
much of a coincidence that it's always like that. JFK, Reagan, fucking RFK, and all these guys. And it's just too much. It just works out too much for these guys. So
Well,
it's just
just
hard
think
to
about it
say.
like this. Why would the Secret Service go before Congress and the American people under oath and lie about his social media and characterize him as a right wing extremist when they knew that it wasn't true? They knew they were lying. Why would they do that if there's nothing, there's no conspiracy? Why?
Yeah,
Why not just go and tell the truth?
yeah,
Right? So the fact that you got the Secret Service lying under oath, like you, until you can square that, make sense of that, like until they can explain why they're lying about that, right, in a reasonable way that makes sense, which they can't. Right? The fact that the Secret Service came before Congress and lied about the attempted assassination, the shooter of a former president,
yeah.
they're involved.
Yeah, there's a couple of there's a lot of stuff that they lied about in Congress. So for sure something's
Yeah.
up there, man. So there's just no way. So this guy saying all that stuff, even on Tim Pool, whatever his name is, he even sounded like kind of disappointed. Like, that fool. I don't know if you ever listened to him. Talks like super fast.
No, I know who he is.
Yeah, he talks like really. Tim Pool talks fast out, but this guy, like, I don't know if he did it on purpose. He was talking faster than him, so he was just
Oh,
talking
okay.
fast and just explaining this and that, left and right. And Tim Pool even just started slowing the way he talked. Like he was just like, whatever. Like, it's
Well,
it's not supposed to
I'm
be
just saying,
explained.
if this guy's an FBI whistleblower, why would he ignore the testimony before Congress by the Secret Service, which was a lie? Why would he ignore the FBI or the Washington D.C. visits to crooks? This guy's a 20-year-old nobody. Who in Washington? Who's he dealing with in Washington D.C.?
No,
Why is he dealing with someone in Washington D.C.? What's going on there? This guy's going to ignore that, and he's FBI whistleblower. That building that these visits are coming from has a bunch of FBI offices in it, and it's right next to the FBI headquarters and right down the street from Secret Service. He's going to ignore that. How's he going to ignore the short selling of the 12 million shares? If he doesn't
no,
address those questions as a whistleblower and make sense of those, if he just ignores them, then
no,
he's a plant. He's a plant
no,
because those are unignorable. You have to make sense of those things. If you're going to say he's a lone nut gun shooter, then you have to explain to me who's visiting him from Washington D.C. and why.
no,
Right? If you can't do that, then and you're just going to ignore that. I'm FBI. I used to be FBI. Well, if you are and you were and you're legit, then you're going to bring that up.
no.
If he didn't bring that up, then he's full of crap.
Yeah. I don't think we brought it up, but one thing that they keep repeating, even Benny Johnson, the other podcaster, that I guess that Crooks's house was like, it was like scrubbed. Like basically, they said it was spotless. It was completely clean. That there was no silverware. Like that when they showed up to it.
Oh,
That
they don't want fingerprints.
yeah. That so and that he's saying he keeps repeating it like as if it really is true. That the house is just really suspicious. Like they just cleaned everything. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's
there's
suspicious
more.
too, but that's not nearly as suspicious to me. I would need more on that one. Now, there could be some things added to that one that would really be damning, but that just looks really weird right there.
Yeah,
But the FBI thing and lying to Congress and the short selling of the stocks,
yeah,
those are glaring fucking problems. That one could just be, hey, they're clean freaks or whatever, or they didn't like doing
yeah,
dishes, so they had plastic utensils or something, or maybe they just had each had their own fork, knife, and spoon, and they didn't want, you know what I mean? Like they just
uh,
cleaned it every time. I don't know. That's probably not what happened. There probably is some FBI going in there and scrubbing the whole house of fingerprints and any evidence of anything, trying to
yeah,
hide evidence. Um, but I don't have enough to say that one on that. That could just be a weird thing. But getting visits from the FBI as a 20-year-old loner nobody, or getting visits from someone from Washington D.C., multiple visits and phone contacts. What is that about, right? I can't come up with I can't imagine any explanation that makes sense there other than the government's involved in this. Why else would he be getting those visits? Who's
yeah,
like, how is this guy connected to Washington D.C.?
yeah,
He's a nobody kid,
yeah, no shit.
right? That's a big problem. And if that FBI guy didn't bring that up, because this implicates the FBI, and if he's an FBI whistleblower, why isn't he blowing the whistle on that?
Yeah, that is. I don't know why they don't put more of an emphasis on that. Like, why the hell is there a connection? Like, nobody's really talking about that one. They brought it up, but nobody's like,
I
oh,
think
well,
a
that's
lot of
interesting.
people, just like JFK, they like to get on their own little thing and imagine what the way they want it to be, right? The conspiracy that they want. They come up with the conspiracy that they like, and it's fantastic and it's thrilling or whatever, and they get that in their head. Then they go and look at evidence and ignore any evidence that contradicts that and accept any that backs that up, and it's called rationalization. Whereas what you people should be doing, if you want to get to the truth, because I don't care, I just want the truth, and this is the way I look at it, is I just let the evidence direct me. Not I
Yeah,
don't direct the evidence directs me to my conclusion. People generally make a conclusion, then they include any evidence that backs it up and dismiss the so I don't dismiss any evidence.
yeah,
It's all valid, and some may lead to a different conclusion that than I had originally thought it might. I might change my mind because of new evidence, and the evidence in this one so far is the Secret Service intentionally choreographed this
Yeah.
assassination attempt, probably by orders of the CIA, FBI, DOJ, and the president.
Yeah.
Just like JFK, same thing. And if the evidence, if there evidence wasn't there for that conclusion, then I wouldn't be saying that conclusion. I'd be saying that yeah, it's a lone nut gunman. But I'm just going where the evidence leads me. I think a lot of people they really want to, and they want to have a fantastic story, and they want to be the ones that figured it out, right? You know, look
Yeah.
what I found out, right? Which is great if you do find something out, but let the evidence guide you. Don't guide the evidence because then you're going to end up with a conclusion that doesn't make any sense. That's why you got so many conspiracy theories that just go everywhere with JFK. Like just anything under the moon somebody's come up with because people love their story time.
No.
And this isn't story time. This is serious business about you know executing a president and power and your freedoms.
Yeah.
So it's not. This isn't time to play around with you know
I'll,
conclusions because you want it to be a certain way.
I'll admit I'm one of those that I'll jump to
I mean, we
conclusions.
all we all are to a
It's fun.
degree.
It's just
I think
sometimes, you know what I
everybody.
mean?
I
Yeah.
think everybody is until you decide not to be.
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, if I feel a certain way, I'll look into every part of it. You know, what I mean, I'll see if I prove it in any way, but I'll have it in my head like it's just always too much of a coincidence. How the hell could it always work out? And you know, what I mean,
A good way to go about coming to the valid conclusion too is to you look at the evidence and then you go, okay, this is what it looks like to me. Then go, you know what? Okay, this is what I think happened. This is what I think the conclusion is. And then go, you know what? I'm going to disprove that. And then go out of your way to try to disprove your own conclusion. And that generally will work. Like you're either going to disprove yourself or confirm it. But the best way to go about it is not trying to confirm your conclusion, but trying to um, blow it up.
yeah,
Because generally, when you do that, if you follow the evidence and then you try to disprove your own conclusion, you're generally only going to reinforce it because you just followed the evidence. So it's probably going to only be reinforced. However, sometimes evidence will pop up that changes that, and then just go where it leads you. It's not your truth; it's just the truth. We're
yeah,
looking for the truth, and no one owns that. It just is.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
I
Well,
mean, believe me, I would love to be able to say, "Hey, the government's not trying to kill the president." And the government hasn't ever killed presidents, and the government's not corrupt. I would love to say that. I would love to live in that world.
yeah,
The evidence is just contrary to that. The evidence is just saying that that's not what it is. I don't want it. I do not want the conclusions I've come to. I do not want to be true, but they are.
yeah,
So, and if you can't accept the truth and deal with the truth and the evidence that led you to that truth, well, then you're never going to solve any problems. You're just going to be running around chasing your tail while they consolidate power.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you gotta follow the truth for sure. Well, let's see what we get out of this video real quick. Here, I don't know. I guess the whole beginning half of the
No
body cam
audio.
footage is there's no audio, which is kind of
You know
funny.
what I don't understand about that is like, why do police body cams when they turn them on? Why isn't there audio for a minute?
Yeah,
Is that where they can say, man, fuck the? That's where they can say all their gnarly shit.
yeah, right here they're probably like, all right, just pretend you're looking at him. You already know he's there. Just leave him alone. They're probably just
Well, it's every police body cam's
oh
like
man,
that. It's always like that, which I don't understand. But that's how police body cams work. They turn them on, and the audio. There's a delay on the audio. Like, where are you going, guy? The shooter's
yeah.
up there. Like, where are you going?
The first thing I thought, and somebody posted in the comment when I first saw this, is that why didn't this guy just start shooting in the air? Like something, just
Right.
distract. Like, dude, you're there to protect, Donald Trump. Like, if they're
You
not,
either hop back up
communicating,
there. You either
yeah,
hop right back up there and engage, or you start shooting in the air to fucking let everyone know that there's a threat. He didn't do either of those things. Well, where's he going? Like he's doing nothing. He's out there. He's out there warning butterflies.
yeah.
Hey, butterflies, get out of here! There's a shooter up there. Like, what are you doing?
So I can't freeze the video, but I don't know if could you see was Crooks already like on his stomach or
Oh no, you
The whole
can't really
story was
see.
that he pointed his gun at him, so he knows
Yeah,
he has a gun.
you can't really see him in the video because the angle. I don't think he's even shows up on the video. The cop sees him, but the body cam doesn't.
Yeah, but how the hell does he think he's wasting all this time? Like the whole point is to protect Trump. Like
He
look
already
at all
has a
this
fucking
shit.
gun. He already has a gun, and
Look,
he's
he
right
can't
there.
even get the gun out. Oh, now he's gonna load it. Like fuck, you think you have all that time, dude?
And you already have a guy right next to you with a rifle, another cop, right? And you have a sidearm.
Yeah,
Bro,
this
you
is
got to get back. You got to just, hey, give me a boost back up. I'm going to engage him. I know he's there now. I'm going to pop over and just start firing or fire some shots in the air. Either way, you're going to stop the assassination by doing that because shots are going to be fired and the crowd and the people are going to be alerted. But he doesn't do that. And I'm not saying there's any conspiracy here. I'm just saying this guy was not ready for this.
look at it. And I just standing behind the car waiting still.
Like he's just like trying to save himself. That's all
Oh yeah,
he's
I don't know.
doing.
I don't know how many more cops are over there, but they didn't. But like, what the hell's he doing? Like, he's acting like as if he's protecting himself from being shot right there. Like,
He is.
there's another cop over there. Well, I don't know. I think they were saying that by this point he had already been shot. Oh,
No,
wait,
not
hold on.
yet.
There's
Oh
another
yeah, yeah.
body
No, I
on.
think at this point he had been shot, right? Because when he runs around to the front of the grass, when he's on the grass field, that's when he starts shooting. When he starts running back off the grass field, that's right when the shots started happening.
Let me see.
Oh yeah, the shots already happened.
Yeah, there's audio now. I think I don't know if it was Benny Johnson, but yeah, he said that. That this guy even like says that we warned the Secret Service to put what I mean like people on this roof and shit like that.
Yo, Blasco. Yo, you about to hop up. He's laying down. He's on our next building over. Right after the gap. He's got glasses, long hair. Need a ladder. She's gonna hole. Yo, Mike. I climbed the wall and I popped my head right in front of him, bro. He's got a book bag. He's got mag. AR laying down.
Chick shit,
Yeah,
man.
he's laying down, prone out, book bag next to him.
And so I just ran. I ran way over there, and then I did a U-turn back to my car.
But watch out, because he can come right down on you over there. Oh, this is gonna drop. Forward. Keep eyes on, give me a ladder.
I don't know.
Eyes up! Bruh.
For the ambulance to the stands.
Yeah, they need body cam footage. This can't be the only one.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one. Oh, maybe I did, but I seen a different one too.
The left one.
Oh, you did see a different
Well, I
oh,
see. Is it?
of this side of the building?
Does this
this
one?
was
Does this one have the cop talking about how the Secret Service messed up?
There's a gap in between you and there.
No, I haven't seen it. I mean, I saw him running around, but I haven't seen the whole thing again. This guy's scared. I ain't mad at him. I'm just saying this is what's going on with him. But he does not want to engage. Yeah, he gonna wait till like 10 cops get up there before he does anything. This guy right here ain't the guy for the job.
Yeah, they need to.
I mean, I'm not mad at him, and I'm not trying to criticize him. I'm just saying, as far as the way he functions, it's not good.
Is he still trying to hide? What's he doing?
He's too afraid to be law enforcement.
What the hell? I don't even know if I could do it, but somebody needs to splice this into that video that we showed last week where they
Yo, Tess, you got me up once.
they line up the real crooks running on the roof and Trump talking. See where this falls into place.
Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, this is afterwards.
Yeah, this is
Obviously.
after, but I mean, not when he saw him. So just show how far this guy ran away when the shots were taking place.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Damn, I wish I could pause now. That's it. Is that it?
I would bet that cop right there, honestly, right now. I'll bet since this happened, like every moment of every day, he's wishing I would have hopped back up there and engaged him.
Yeah.
You could have been a hero, bro.
Yeah, or
You
at
could,
least right.
a guy died because you didn't engage. Like if he had engaged, that guy probably isn't dead, and Trump's not shot.
Yeah. Here,
Like
here, you could.
right there, just jump back up.
He had to have his sidearm. I mean, there's
He
no way
does.
they didn't have
Just
it.
jump back up.
Look, where's he running? He's claiming he went to go get his gun.
I mean, he's trying to see, trying to see if he can get a sight on him there. But you have a perfect place to jump back up and shoot him, right? But you just got to not be afraid of getting shot yourself. And you had cover, so there's like a couple foot lip right there. So you jump up on that thing and you just stay low, pop up shooting. Or just shoot some shots in the air. But this is not helping anything.
Shots
Right
in the
here.
air would have been perfect. It would have at least
Yeah.
warned, something's up. Or take president out of the, off the stage. That's it. Simple as that.
Right.
Look at
Yeah.
yeah. You're right. His partner already had a rifle. So where the hell?
Right. So why does he need a rifle too? Just go. Anyway, it's already over at this point.
Yeah,
So,
I think they'd already killed him.
he's like, I'm going to get a rifle now so I can go shoot this dead guy. He's already dead.
No.
The sniper.
Yeah, this is like the worst footage to.
No, and that guy's wishing he did it all different.
Yeah, because it's hard. I don't know. It's hard to imagine that this guy was in on it. Like
He's
that.
not in on it.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
just
the
does.
fuck?
He's just not very good at being a cop because
Oh shit.
I think. Well, the other cop was right there too. He didn't jump up there either. Like they're not doing their job.
It was as simple as just shooting in the air. That just would have made a warning.
He's straight up.
Right. I mean, and if he did shoot in the air though, if he did, then Crooks would probably immediately shoot. So that might not have stopped it.
I don't know.
But if he jumped right back up and engaged him, that would have stopped it. That's what he had to do. You had to jump back up and engage him. And what he's doing here is like normal police stuff, right?
No.
This is how you normally operate, but it's not a normal police situation. It's a president up there, and this guy's there to shoot him. You can't leave.
Left side.
Yeah. I like that
Like-
run all the way out for like no reason.
He's acting like he's got someone in a house in a barricaded situation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But this guy's got his rifle pointed at the president, and he knows it. So he needs to act differently than his training on that, because that's not the kind of he's not ready for this.
It was funny. A few seconds ago, you could hear the crowd cheering. So that must have been when Trump raised his fist.
Yeah, you can hear him cheering on this. That's pretty far.
Yeah, it was a few seconds ago. Well, they had Trump on the floor for a long time.
Yeah,
Yo, you about to hop up? He's laying down. He's going north.
But then that was always weird to me when that day I watched it. They kept replaying it, and you could hear the audio exactly. He just kept saying, "All right, we're clear to go. All right, go." And then they wouldn't go. And they did that I want to say they did it like 3 times. All right, are we clear to go? All right, go, go. And they wouldn't move. They would just stay on the floor like.
yeah. I think that might have been Trump himself not going.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it was.
AR, laying down.
All right, let's cut this to replay.
He's laying down, thrown down, book bag next to him.
So yeah, that's just the new footage, man. But not too many more development.
The other one, you didn't have you seen the other one with the body cam of the cop who's talking about? I told someone fucked up. He's like, someone fucked up.
Well, I thought this
told
was
the
the
Secret
one.
Service Tuesday. I told the Secret Service on Tuesday. He's like, I told them on Tuesday they need people on that roof. And he's like, you told who? He's like, the Secret Service. I told the Secret Service they need someone on that roof.
Oh,
So the
really?
Secret Service was told by the police that roof needs to be secured, and the Secret Service didn't do it. So they were warned about this before the event,
Yeah.
and they still ignored it. There's just that's what I'm saying. This is how close we are to absolute proof that the government tried to assassinate Trump. And I think we're going to get there because all the video and the technology now, I think it's going to reveal the truth on this without a shadow of a doubt that the government did it. And we're real close right now with the government lying to Congress about the shooter getting visits from Washington, D.C. regularly, the BlackRock connection, then the other BlackRock company short selling. Then you got the police there on body cam saying that they told the Secret Service someone needed to be up there on Tuesday, and the Secret Service um, didn't secure that building, even though they were warned about it. And then someone shoots from that building. This is it's it. You're about as close to absolute proof as you could get without having the smoking gun. And I think
Yeah.
the smoking gun is going to come out in one of these videos or these body cams somewhere.
Yeah.
And really, you need to talk to the agent in charge. That's the most important one. Who is that? Why hasn't he been before Congress, etc.? Isn't that weird that the agent in charge of the scene? No, have you seen any interviews? You know who he is? Nothing.
Yeah. For real.
And he's the one. He's the one that coordinated the entire security. He's the one that made the call you know, to ignore the police's warnings. To send Trump on stage, even though they already knew there was a threat. And that's the guy you need to talk to. And Congress, I don't think Congress has even subpoenaed him. And it's funny because I was talking to a guy last night that I work with, and he was talking about, Republican this, Democrat that, because he's a Republican. And, in ideologically, I would be too, but I'm not a registered Republican because I'm an independent, because a lot of the Republicans are corrupt too. And that's probably why they haven't brought the agent in charge before Congress, is because there's a lot of corruption on both sides and they don't want the truth out there. And you can prove that because through congressional testimony throughout the last 3 years, but the Biden family has been exposed for having 23 shell companies getting money from China, Ukraine, Russia, and Romania that we know of, and it gets laundered into these shell companies and then divvied up to all the Biden family members. This is total mafia racketeering shit that's been proven in front of Congress. And Jordan and Comer and the heads of these committees on the Republican side have been talking for a couple of years now. Oh yeah, we got the goods on them, and I've seen the goods. They do 100% proven that the president's corrupt and his family's corrupt and taking bribes. And we're going to impeach. We're going to start impeachment here. They kept talking about it, but they never did it. Meanwhile, their opposition is running Trump through every court in the land over nothing. They got
Yeah.
they got ridiculous evidence against the people who are doing that to their ally, supposed ally, and yet they're not going after them. They never did anything about it but talk, which tells you they're full of crap. Why didn't you start impeachment proceedings? You talked about it, you presented the evidence, and then you did nothing. So I think the agent in charge not being subpoenaed to Congress is the same sort of thing. The Republicans are like, yeah, they want him dead too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying all Republicans. There's some that are legit, but the
I
leadership,
think there's a lot of them, man. There's a lot that never speak. They just stay quiet. You know what I mean? They're just
right? They do nothing. The whole time Trump has been getting railed against as president and after being president, all the insanity, including the assassination attempt. They've done nothing.
yeah.
Done nothing to fight back. Just all they did was talk and have hearings that lead to nothing. Why would you do that? Why aren't you fighting back? Why isn't there any states in the country that have Republican DAs indicting any Democrats like they're doing with Trump? Why aren't they going after him? You got the evidence. You got real evidence. Unlike the Trump cases where the evidence is shaky at best, this evidence is solid, yet no one's doing anything. And I think that's why we haven't heard from the agent in charge in this, is because we have Americans have this idea that it's Republican and Democrat, and you have a choice between one or the other. And it's just a shell game. It's a facade. It's the deep state, the elites, the rich versus everybody else. And the Republicans and Democrats in Washington, on the leadership level at least, those are the elites, the deep state. So they play this game with you like, oh, we're opposed to the Democrats. No, you're not. You guys are all the same. You guys are all elitists who are going for absolute power, and you present this facade as if you're opposing each other, yet you only go after Trump. You don't go after anybody else, and you have evidence all over the place.
So let me see if I can get this up real quick. Well, I don't know. I wish these people would make more of a big deal about the World Economic Forum, man. It just seems like all the policies that are going on around the world, especially right here in the United States, but that's happened in the UK. They're all policies coming from the World Economic Forum, like the immigration policies, all the climate change policies. All of them are being dictated from these people that attend these meetings. So I don't get why everybody doesn't just really point the finger at, like, and they're funding. You know what I mean? They're most. I think the CEO of BlackRock, George Soros, they're all members and stuff like that. But
Schwab.
nobody ever talks about the World Economic Forum and what their plans are. Basically, that all their plans are just actually happening. Like,
Because the people who would be doing anything about it are the people I just talked about. They're in on it. And like I said, it's a clever game where they go, "Oh, the Republicans now they're going to fight back against this stuff. They're not for this. If they weren't for it, they'd be talking about it. They'd be prosecuting people who are committing crimes, and they're not doing it." Right? Forget what people say. Go with what they do. That tells the truth. And they're not doing anything to fight back or to stop the World Economic Forum from getting their way. They're not doing. The Republicans aren't doing anything about that either. It's just, yeah, we're going to do something about that. Yeah, give us 20 years. Like, it's ridiculous. I've like the case against Biden for impeachment. I've never seen a case even close to that strong of evidence. The evidence is overwhelmingly solid, and they did nothing. You had Biden by the balls. Comer, Jordan, Republican leadership, McConnell, Graham, and you did nothing but talk. You talked about it, but you didn't do anything. So I don't care what you said. I saw the evidence myself. I didn't need you to tell me that there's evidence. I saw it. Now, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. There's nothing.
I don't know. It just seems
So
like the
don't expect these guys to fight back against the World Economic Forum, because the World Economic Forum, Schwab, Soros, BlackRock, these guys are the
not
ones who
even
are
just them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it makes them if they can make them look weird or like conspiracy theories. I'm talking about like even Trump campaign. Like they should just really. I think it'd just be more effective instead of just complaining to actually name a
Well,
boogeyman. You know what I
Trump
mean?
does.
It's
Trump does talk about the deep state. That's why we're dealing with what we're
Yeah,
dealing
but
with. We
I
wouldn't
think in
even
just
know about
calling it deep state, he might as well be saying the new world order. You know what I mean? It just sounds too more. It does. It's not to me language that's taken too serious. But if you actually name an actual legitimate organization that has all the most powerful, richest, and all the scientists, the smartest people in the world, Bill Gates, everybody's involved in this, and their agenda is literally being carried out around the world. Like, how do you not bring that up like constantly? Like, it's all coming from them. They're funding these DAs that are going to. George Soros is funding all the district attorneys that are going after Trump, and all the district attorneys that are letting crime, go rampant all around the country. Like they're trying to destroy the country, like, and it's a known fact that they're funding those people. But nobody ever talks about it like that. It's their agenda. It's their plan that's actually happening. They just keep it more on it's a Democrats, it's the loony left versus the conservative right. Like, keep containing it into just that right there. To me, it just doesn't really explain what's happening to me. It just keeps it vague still. It just keeps it kind of, I don't
right.
know. You
Well,
know what I mean? Like,
I w- yeah. Well, they don't want to talk about these things because they're part of it. Now, as far as Trump goes, you got to walk a fine line there, right? First of all, does he even understand this? I don't know what Trump knows.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure he has an idea, and maybe he has absolutely concrete idea. I
he
don't
should know
know,
by now. He should know.
but you got to be careful with this, right? Because if you start slandering or libeling people, then you can get in trouble for that legally. It, and if you can't prove that Schwab or the World Economic Forum, certain individuals are doing this stuff, and you start accusing of it, they can take you to court and sue you for slander, which is really hard to prove. But the government doesn't need proof for anything anymore. They just take you to court because you disagree with them. So I think and on top of that, a lot of people, like you said, might think, oh, these are just conspiracy theories. So maybe it's like like I would love for people to come on, Congress people or newscasters or somebody to come out and speak like we're speaking about this. But I think they're afraid to do it because of the legal consequences that could possibly occur, as well as, the people a lot there might be worried about people thinking they're nuts, right? But you're never going to solve the problem if you don't identify the source. and
Exactly. Yeah.
and people are dancing around the source. I think a lot of these, like, hosts on Fox News, Newsmax, and Congress people that aren't corrupt, and Trump, I think they know a lot of this stuff. But there's got to be somebody who comes out. Somebody's got to do it first. After that, you'll have an avalanche of people doing it. But until somebody comes out and calls it what it is, the government, it looks like the government is trying to assassinate Trump, and calling out all the other things the World Economic Forum. Until somebody does that, I think nobody wants to be the first one. Trump would do it, and he might do it, but I think he wants to get elected first because he might be thinking, "Hey, this might hurt my election chances."
Yeah. I've thought
People,
about that
right?
too. Yeah.
So,
He doesn't
yeah,
want to let. Yeah, I've thought that maybe he doesn't want to let them know that he knows exactly who it is yet, because
but
otherwise, they might go harder on him, even harder than they already are. But
well, you
they
can't
might.
really go harder than killing him. But
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, they could drop his plane out of the fucking sky now. We
yeah, but
see.
you're just still killing him.
Yeah.
But last night I was listening to Fox News, because the guy I work with, he listens to it right next to me. He plays it on his speaker, and Judge Janine on Fox News,
Yeah, she's good.
she came real close to doing it last night. She
Really?
said that she broke down the whole scenario with the Trump assassination thing, and at the end, her conclusion was, not only does it make the Secret Service look bad and incompetent, it lends itself to the idea that they might be complicit in this.
Yeah.
So she started touching it. So there's the beginning of this wall crumbling. Once
Yeah.
people start putting that out there, then somebody else will take it a little further and a little further, and before you know it, but you're going to need to have really solid proof, to do that. And I think it's there based on the stuff that we've talked about, that is inexplainable other than a government conspiracy.
Yeah.
And if anybody has an explanation for why Crooks is getting visits from Washington D.C. as a 20-year-old nobody, yeah, go ahead and put that in the comments, because and I'll listen to them if it makes sense. Great, but I can't come up with a reason for that other than he's being groomed up for this.
There's some lady, I forgot who she was, on Larry Kudlow, his show on Fox Business. She was saying that she
Yeah.
was kind of happening the same thing. So the more, a lot of these questions go unanswered, the more people are going to tap into conspiracies. And she was like, I'll admit, these conspiracies sound plausible based on the lack of, transparency from the Secret Service. Like, so they're they're making it kind of obvious that they might be involved and stuff like that. And she's like, but I'm
Well,
not,
not only
I don't like doing that. I don't like, she was trying to back off of it, but she still tapped around that same thing.
yeah, but not only are they not being transparent, they are flat out lying to the American people under oath.
Yeah.
Because when you testify before Congress, you're testifying before the representatives that are elected by the people. So when you talk to a representative in Congress under oath, you're talking to the American people, so they're lying to you. Secret Service is coming out lying right to your face. So it's beyond not being transparent. It's being deceitful, and they're lying. And when you're lying about something, that's because you want to cover something up. You don't want the truth out, right? And they 100% lied. Came out, said he's a right-wing extremist. Look at his post on Gab. Then the owner of Gab put his account out there online with his comments, and they're all pro-Biden, anti-Trump. So the Secret Service tells the American people that he's one way, when they knew it's a lie. They knew they were lying. So they lied. They went to Congress and lied on purpose, which there's pretty damn strong evidence that they're implicated in this.
Yeah. I downloaded this video right here. It's John Kerry. I'm not sure if this is exactly the one I was looking for, but the name of the video is pretty much what he says. If it's the right one, he says this right after Trump won the first primary, because basically they found out that all the charges weren't working. They thought everybody was going to back off Trump because, oh yeah, he's a criminal and all these charges against him. But after he won first primary, like it wasn't like a I don't know what the first primary was, but I remember it was like a big deal. That he won it by like a lot. Like he just blew everybody out.
Right.
And then, so I guess John Kerry had to go back to the World Economic Forum and reassure them that everything's fine. So I don't know if this is the video where he says he says, the video I saw, he says no one politician is going to stop our agenda. And he did that right after Trump won the primary. So let me see if this is the one.
Absolutely critical that we accelerate. I am convinced beyond any doubt that because of the decisions being made in the marketplace now, because, I mean, you know as well as I do, even if, I don't want this, obviously, but if you wound up with a different president who was opposed to climate crisis, I got news for you. No one politician anywhere in the world can undo what is happening now. The marketplace is doing this. And the only issue for all of us is not whether or not we can get or will get to a low-carbon, no-carbon economy globally. We will. The only question is, will we get there in time to meet the challenge of the scientists in order to avoid the worst consequences of this crisis? That is what is at stake. Absolutely critical that we accelerate. I am convinced beyond any doubt that because of the decisions being made in the marketplace now, because, I mean, you know as well as I do, even if, I don't want this, obviously, but if you wound up with a different president who was opposed to climate crisis, I got news for you. No one politician anywhere in the world can undo what is happening now. The marketplace is doing this. And the only issue for all of us is not whether or not we can get or will get to a low-carbon, no-carbon economy globally. We will. The only question is, will we get there in time to meet the challenge of the scientists in order to avoid the worst consequences of this crisis? That is what is at stake. Absolutely critical.
So what do you take from that, bro?
Well,
you got to look at what their climate agenda is, and I guess I think it's called Agenda 30 or 2030 or something like that. They have a name for it, and it's all laid out. I think Candace Owens talked about it. That everything that's happening they've already laid it out. They've already planned it. You know what I mean?
Well, the climate thing is a facade as well.
Yeah, it's just a cover. Yeah.
Right, and they use that as a fear tactic, and the climate is a fear tactic that affects everyone on the planet. He's talking about how the market it can't be stopped. What he's really
that's
telling
just mumbo jumbo, but
But what he's really saying, he's telling the World Economic Forum and the New World Order and the deep states. And all the people who are trying to get this one world government, he's trying to reassure them that nothing's going to stop this. That's what he's really saying. And then when he starts talking about, but will we save the climate in time to meet the challenge of these scientists? With these scientists that say we're all going to die because of the climate change.
Yeah.
Well, what about the climate change in the 70s?
Yeah.
Like if you go and look at, anybody can Google this. Newsweek or Time magazine, they both had on the cover of the magazines in the 70s the big freeze. And we were going into a new ice age, and this is only 50 years ago, and we're going into an ice age, another ice age, and all the scientists agree, and that's what all the politicians and the experts were saying. So in 50 years we were going to a ice age, which didn't happen, but all the scientists agreed, or most of them. And now we're all going to burn up, and most of the scientists agree, because most of the scientists are being paid to say what you want them to say, and it's just fear mongering. And so if you're just in a country like the United States, and you want to control your people in some way, you don't need climate change. You would use something that's more of a national issue, but this is a world issue, and so this affects the entire world. and so they need a worldwide issue to control the world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so they're doing it through climate, and they're going to do it through money. And he said both of them right there:
Yeah.
the marketplace and the climate. These are both worldwide issues that affect everybody now.
Yeah.
And there's no getting around that. And so he's telling you these are the issues that we're going to fearmonger people into submission.
Yeah. But yeah, so exactly all that, you know what I mean? But he got pretty specific, and that was right after Trump won the first primary. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this guy's talking. He's talking about Trump. So how the hell all this big global plan?
He's talking about Trump. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so
If
to me,
if he was right that no one politician can undo this stuff, then why are you guys trying to put him in prison, trying to strip his wealth, trying to
yeah,
kill him?
that's what I was about to
Right?
say. So they must fear him. They must know that Trump can undo. The United States can undo all of it if somebody got in
It's,
power.
he
And
knows that what he said isn't true, that no one can undo this. He knows that's not true. But isn't it funny? He goes up there and lies to the liars.
no,
Like, you just got liars lying to each other. Oh yeah, we got this under control. No one can stop this. Meanwhile, we're doing we're coming out of the shadows and exposing the fact that we have a deep state and a one world government in order to get rid of the guy that we're afraid of changing things. Well, if no one can change things, you wouldn't be worried about it and doing all that. So he's lying to the people to reassure them, and those people are lying to everybody too. You got my God, people are a trip.
the conspiracy theorist in me would want to say that this is probably where the plan to kill Trump started. This is probably his way of telling them, "Don't worry, we're going to take him out no matter what. He's not going to
Well,
stop. He ain't going to do shit."
and you could read that
Because obviously
between the
the
lines.
charges weren't working. Because I think that was their plan. I think they thought that people were just going to be turned off to Trump and just talked about him being a felon and all that shit. But they saw from the first primary, he yeah, it was like a landslide. He just blew everybody out. Vivek dropped out on the very first primary. So yeah, so I think I wouldn't be surprised if this is his way of saying we'll take care of it no matter what. No one politician is going to stop what we've got planned. But that's just
And you
that's
could
my
read
theory.
you could read between the lines that's in there too, and
Yeah,
it probably is.
yeah, it's for sure double speak. He's saying a lot of different things in that little line. So yeah, I've
Yeah,
always thought that was funny, man. But yeah, I actually think, man, we might have to do a show on the World Economic Forum. And Candace
do have to
Owens,
do.
she always talks about it. She always says, like, dude, like their plan is it's published. It's on the website. You could read exactly what they're gonna do, and it's been happening. She was saying that I guess they do videos, kind of like preparedness videos, and they had done one before the pandemic about a whole world pandemic. They did the whole thing. And so she was saying that right now the new one that the new video that they have is for a cyber attack that's gonna wipe out basically all of the internet. It's gonna shut off the internet and you know, and basically just that might be how it's used. I don't know. Did you say it? Somebody said that that's how they're gonna do the great, and they're even calling it something, the Great Reset.
Right.
That
Yeah,
no, you
I
said
don't
it
know.
last week. Yeah, that's how they're gonna save us. That basically they're gonna do a cyber attack, and they're gonna come with this new software, and they're gonna wipe away your debt and all that stuff. You were saying that, no? I think.
Yeah, I was saying that, but I don't think I said cyber attack. I don't know exactly what the event will be. They need a gigantic event like a world war, economic collapse, massive pandemic worldwide. It's even worse than COVID. They need something massive in order to do this reset. But what I think it's going to be, I think it'll be economic. And the reason I say that is because, like, here in the United States, for example, the price of energy and gas was inflated intentionally by the government or the deep state behind it, the Black Rocks and et cetera. But we'll just say our politicians are doing it, but they're being led. But anyway, whoever's doing that, you can attribute it to many people there. But it's a plan to increase the price of everything.
Yeah.
So when you increase the price of gas, the price of everything goes up.
Yeah.
So they did that intentionally in order to make everyone go into debt. So I think most people, I would imagine at this point, based on the prices of everything, would be, the amount of debt is going to be much higher than it's ever been for people, for corporations, for cities, for counties, for states, for national governments, et cetera, around the world.
Yeah.
So everyone's suffering this in these high energy prices and inflation, especially here in the United States. And it's intentional so that you get into so much debt that and then they can just, the Schwabs, the BlackRocks, the Soroses, all these guys who have massive amounts of money, they can manipulate the stock market. They can just pull out a bunch of stuff and drop the stock market anytime they want. They can cause it to crash. So they can cause the stock market crash very easily, but they need people to be in financial trouble first. Once you got people in sufficient financial trouble, you crash the market, all their shit is gone. They don't have anything now. They probably lose their job, their house, and then they still have all this debt that they haven't paid and they can't pay. And then you come to them and say, hey, we're going to take care of you. We're going to remove all your debt. We're going to put you on this social credit program. You got to sign up for it. You got to agree to it. But this social credit program, and then we're going to get you back in shape, back to work. We're going to fix all this stuff. But we need a new economic system, a worldwide economic system.
Yeah.
And but in this economic system, you got social credits as well. So you're gonna have like an ATM card or a chip or something, where it not only has your bank account, you can use for your bank, but it's also going to have your education, your employment history, your medical history, your travel history, etc. And then they're basically going to buy everything. They're going to the New World Government or deep state. They're going to buy everything, not just buildings, cars, and land, but they're going to buy everything down to the last plant. So they'll own the entire world. And then you, as a citizen of this world, you have social credits, and you're able to experience this world based on how much social credits you have. So you want to go on a trip somewhere. Do you have enough social credits to do it? Have you been a good enough citizen, right? Or have you been? Have you had social credits removed because, you got speeding tickets, or you committed a misdemeanor, or whatever, right? Anything that they deem as they don't like, that's going to be a demerit on your social credit. And anything that they do like, they can add some credits to you, right? So they'll have complete control of people in the world. And I think the method from that is massive debt into an economic collapse, into a recovery, that they come to you and say, hey, this is a good thing. We're going to fix everything. We have one more government's going to be better than it ever was. But in fact, what they're really doing is coming to you and saying, hey, why don't you sign up here to be a slave?
Yeah. See, that makes sense to me. That makes sense
to
to me.
Well,
and that's how you would implement
it makes sense. This is what these guys are saying. Yeah. If you listen to them, this is what they're saying they want to do.
Well, that's the best way to bring in that social credit system that's exactly in China. So,
right.
So I think what's happening in China is exactly what they want.
And then if you don't get on this social credit system, you don't exist according to the government and the private sector. So it's just like Revelation. You won't be able to buy or sell. You're screwed. Well, so you have to either submit to them or control, or you're basically going to starve to death.
Well, you see already what's happening in UK. They're arresting people for posting stuff online. So fuck, and if UK's doing that, I mean, you know what I mean? It's the United States for sure is next on stuff like that. I mean, they already posted videos of FBI. Yeah, it's already kind of happening. Let me see.
Censorship in America is very big.
Yeah, see, there's an account I follow called Leading Report. They're doing right now. It says a UK police commissioner has threatened to extradite jail U.S. citizens over online posts. We'll come after you. So,
in other words, don't go to England.
Yeah, but I mean, no. So I'm just saying, like, they're already planning what's happening in China. They're already like, little by little, it's already going to happen, because that's what happens in China. If you post something that they don't like, you lose social credit scores, and all of a sudden you can't buy food, or you can't, you know what I mean? You can't do things. And And with what you explained, that's the best way to usher all that in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, we wiped your debt clean. Now you got to play by our rules and shut up, and no more middle class. It's just you guys and us.
This is why Trump got shot. This is why Trump got indicted. This is why Trump got impeached, is because he's a speed bump at least in the road to this, if not a wall. So he's a obstruction at least in some way or another. He's going to slow it down or stop it altogether. And so that's why they're after him so hard, is because this is what they're going for, and they're really close to it. I mean, for anybody listening, how much debt do you have? How much debt did you have 10 years ago? How much is the price of milk or eggs or your rent or your gas or you buy a new car or anything? It's massively more expensive, and that is intentional by your government in order to cripple you financially and take away your power. And then they're going to collapse it, and then they're going to come in and be rescue you, but they're really coming in to enslave you.
Yeah.
With a smile on the face and a handshake, they're going to try to make you think they're on your side, but they really want to be slave masters. So the elite just want to run the world, and we're all just, pawns in their Game of Thrones.
I think they have an advantage too, man. I think they know how many people are like us, you know what I mean, outspoken, that actually, doing, investigate and research stuff, or, activists in a way, compared to how many people are just sheep that don't really care, don't just go with what. I think COVID was probably a big test for that reason. I think they wanted to see how many people just fall in line with what they're saying. So based on how many people got vaccinated and stuff like that, they probably know that they're only dealing with a small group of people that would say anything, you know what I mean, that would fight back. So I wonder if their confidence comes from, just that advantage that they could just monitor, social activity and just base their success on that.
I mean, of course they have an advantage. That's why you can prosecute somebody who did nothing wrong, a president who did nothing wrong. Meanwhile, letting the president who's committing crimes left and right, racketeering, and you do nothing. I mean, they're honestly, at the end of the day, they're going to get what they came for. I mean, it's going to happen. What I'm talking about, one world order is going to happen, whether it's a financial collapse, world war, or whatever means. I think it'll be a financial collapse, but it's going to happen. So it's just a matter of time. So, and I don't know when and how much effect Trump's going to have on it, but it's going to happen. I think I agree with Kerry on that. What's happening is going to happen because they have pretty much everything, damn near.
Well, yeah, she says they have a name. I don't know if it's Agenda. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Agenda 2030. So they're planning it by 2030 for this all to happen.
Okay.
The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, also known as Agenda 2030, is a 15-year global framework adopted by the United Nations in 2015. The agenda is centered around 17 sustainable development goals, 169 targets, over, I don't know what the hell, 230 indicators. No, I thought it was more specific to the World Economic Forum, but yeah, she says that there's a plan, basically. It's called Agenda 2030 that breaks down everything that they want to do.
Yeah, there's a plan, of course. I mean, it's not even like we have to speculate whether there's a plan or not. The CEO of BlackRock is on video talking about how they're going to change people's behaviors and they're going to force them. He flat out says that.
But that's what I'm saying. So I just think if Trump got more specific and he just let it start telling, like just how they're trying to pin that Agenda 2025, whatever, that other one, they're trying to pin that on him, trying to make that a boogeyman, and he had to distance himself from that. And even Candace Owens was saying, like, I don't get why he has to, that's like a tactic they use. They'll pin something on you that you're not really for, but they just try to make that a boogeyman. But she's like, have you ever read it? Like, anybody criticizing it, why don't you ask them one day, like, what is it that you don't like about Agenda 2025? You know about that one, right? That's the Heritage Foundation, I guess, made that one up.
I mean, I've heard of it, but I didn't look into what it
Yeah,
was.
I don't know the specifics, but she says she read it, and she's like, next time ask somebody that wants to criticize Trump for being for that, like ask them what part of that agenda don't you like, and she's like, because she's like, to be honest, I like a lot of it. Like most of it is actually not, it's actually reasonable stuff, but the fact that they're painting that to be like a boogeyman, they're just relying on people not reading it. But she says it's mostly a conservative thing. Like there's certain things about it that are kind of iffy, but she's like, the majority of it is actually a pretty good plan. So they're
Well,
using that tactic
it's
against Trump. He needs to use that tactic against them. Start calling out these people, these loony left people. Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. They're all for this plan, Agenda 2030. That's a global plan. Look, just watch the news. What's happening here is happening in the UK. It's happening in Italy. It's not just the United States. It needs to be more specific. Like it's and these politicians on the left, they're in bed with them. They're being funded by them. They told them they're going to take care of them and start scaring people that way. But he doesn't. They just keep it, like I said, they just keep it more. They box it into just a Democrat versus Republican thing here in the United States only. This immigration issue is only a United States issue. No, the same thing's happening all over the world, like different countries all over the world. So if he spreads it out more like that, I think people will be more receptive to something like that. I mean, everybody already knows about, that the possibility of a one world government and shit like that. But if he was to aim it and just say that this is how they're going to usher in communism around the whole world, is through these group of people called the World Economic Forum, George Soros, Bill Gates, like I think it'll be just more effective, man. But they don't. So it just sounds smaller than what it really is. It's just not as dramatic. I think it would just be more dramatic. I think more people would pay attention.
I think
To
if Trump gets elected, I think you're going to hear him talk about this stuff like you're saying.
it.
I think, but after the election. Well, either way, after the election, he's going to talk about it,
Yeah, hopefully, man. But
win or lose. I think so.
he,
But
I was
I
gonna.
don't.
On that note, I was gonna download a bunch of videos, man, just to kind of be on positive that they're doing a lot of stuff, man, to try to secure the election. I don't know if you've seen. I would have to read them all on Leading Report, but yeah, they're like in certain states pass laws that they need to take pictures of. Hold on, let me see if I can bring it up. Take pictures of the actual ballots and stuff like that. They need to have a record of everything.
Right.
Right here, Georgia has reportedly removed 150,000 voters off their active voter rolls. So I think what they're scrubbing it from like illegals and people that are dead. Like they're scrubbing voter rolls basically. I
Right.
never knew much about how that shit works, but I guess it's called voter rolls. Trump Vance is currently no, that's not the one. Yeah, there's a bunch of posts that basically all are like in different states, man. They're doing a lot of stuff, man, to try to secure the election. So that's a good thing, man. That's stuff I don't think they did in 2020. They didn't know to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody thought they would actually rig an election, but they sure as hell did.
Yeah,
And we should have saw it coming, but and once it happened, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, it's not like I didn't think they would do it, but um, it's just when you live in the United States your whole life, and then all this stuff starts coming out, all the corruption and how the government's been in tyrannical government your whole life, and then elections getting rigged now is kind of like, wait, it's hard to believe. It's kind of like that sniper who's looking at the shooter, and he's like, wait, that's supposed to be a police sniper. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like what you think you should be seeing and experiencing, you're seeing and experiencing something else. And as an American, it's hard to believe. So it takes a minute to get past denial and into acceptance before you can even deal with it, because you're like, nah, this can't be. You can't be rigging election. Not in the United States. They can't be assassinating presidents and have a deep state. Not in the United States, but so it's hard to get there because it's not supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
It's like that shooter's not supposed to be an assassin. He's supposed to be a police sniper. You're just confused. You're confused for a minute But then you realize what's going on. So I don't know what's going to happen, man. We're in a
It's
world of
looking a
hurt.
lot
We've been
better.
in a world of hurt for a long time, though.
It's looking a lot better, and for sure it's going to make it a lot harder for them to steal it the way they did in 2020. Right here, RNC has filed lawsuits in several states to prevent mail-in ballots from being counted after Election Day if they were postmarked on or before the day of voting, saying that such allowances threaten the integrity of our elections. Here's another one. Georgia State Election Board has voted to accept the new rule requiring counties to preserve voting machine memory cards, which contain ballot images, audit logs, and other critical data. And then a lot of it's actually in Georgia, man. The Georgia State Election Board has just voted to accept the proposed new rule that requires the Postal Service to provide tracking for mail-in ballots and ensure the chain of custody for undeliverable ballots. And then in Georgia, they're about to admit that there was fraud in their state, and I think Georgia was the deciding state, no?
It was one of them.
If he had won Georgia, he would have won, no?
Probably. And that's the state.
I know the other one was Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, things like that. But you have on video in Georgia the night of the election. They said there was a water main break. Everyone had to leave, and they're going to stop counting. And it's on video. Everyone leaves except for the Democrats, it's a Democrat city they're in. So it's Democrats that are left in there. As soon as everybody leaves, they lock the doors, pull out some cases from underneath a hidden table, draped with tablecloth. You couldn't see them. And then they start counting ballots, which is a federal crime. It's a federal crime to count ballots without observers from both sides. And they did that. And then the FBI and DOJ looked at that and said they didn't do anything wrong. It's on video that they violated federal law. Even if those were legitimate ballots, it's illegal to do that. And if they're going to stop counting, and this was broadcast over the news that night, if they're going to shut it down and stop counting because of a water main break, then why immediately after everyone leaves, they start counting? So you have election fraud on video in that election, and then the government's going after people who contest the election. There's the election was rigged, and it's on video. So I don't know, man. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in that. I don't know what's going to happen next, but jeez,
it's just not going to be the same. So they're definitely going to have to. Here, watch. We'll just play that basically what you were talking about. I had a video of it on my phone.
Oh, you have that video?
Well, when they announced what happened, watch, check this out.
We've also got some breaking news right now, so we want to check in with CBS's Mark Strassman. He is in Georgia, where they're having a big problem counting some of the votes. Mark?
Nora, this is an election return watch party here on the edge of Atlanta. These are mostly excited Democrats because when's the last time Georgia thought of itself as a battleground state? After a record early returns and essentially a day of problem-free voting, there is now a hitch in the tabulation of votes. I'm standing in Fulton County. Fulton County includes a chunk of Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta is State Farm Arena, where the Atlanta Hawks play. They are tabulating the absentee ballots of Fulton County, Georgia's most populous county. A water pipe has broken inside the arena. They had counted 86,000 absentee ballots. We don't know how many more they have yet to tabulate, but all the tabulation of those ballots has now stopped. We're told by election officials they may not finish tabulating those votes for a day or two. So depending how close the rest of the state is, we may not know the result of this critical battleground state for another day or two. That is because, again, a water pipe has broken in State Farm Arena. State Farm Arena is where they were counting the absentee ballots of Georgia's most populous county. And now that tabulation has stopped. Big development here.
And you know what the
Mark,
water
do you know
pipe is?
how many ballots we're talking about? What that means?
Oh, shit.
No,
we don't know. We've asked that question, Gail, and we haven't got an answer for that yet. We know that there were 86,000, but apparently it's a very labor-intensive process. And what they are telling us is that it's going to take a day or two, which suggests to me that they have a lot to go.
Well, we've also got some breaking news right now, so we want to check in with CBS's Mark.
Right. So he's up by 13 points, and then a water main breaks.
Yeah.
They tell everyone to leave. They're not going to count the ballots until the next day. Then the minute that door closes, they pull the ballots out and start counting them. Now, if a water main breaks, it was actually just a toilet that had a leak. That's what it was. But even if you had a water main break in an arena, why couldn't you count votes? Is it actually flooding into that area?
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh my God, there's a water leak in an arena that holds tens of thousands of people. Like, how much water are we talking about? But it turned out it was a leaky toilet. Right? So you have, and this is how they did. You have evidence right there. It's proven that they rigged this election, and the way they did it was they had a plan in place that on the night of the election in battleground states in Democrat-held cities in those states like Atlanta, Philadelphia, etc. If Trump is winning, then you stop counting, and they stopped counting in 5 or 6 states that Trump was leading in. Trump had it won. Then they rigged the election. And you can see him do it in Georgia on video.
Yeah.
So it's not even a question of whether it was done, but that's how they did it. Was the plan was in the battleground states and Democrat-held cities, if it's a problem in those cities, you stop counting. Then we bring out the fake ballots and we start counting those, putting those in, and padding the numbers for Biden. You're not gonna recover from a 13-point deficit, 56-43. It's not happening.
Yeah, no shit.
But they all stopped counting. Trump's leading them all. The next day, they got them counted and Biden won them all.
It wasn't even the next day. Didn't it take like a couple of days? Like, how's that?
Or whatever. Whatever. They stopped counting.
Was,
Trump was ahead in all of them. Then Trump loses them all.
Was that the location where they started covering up the windows?
I think that might have been. It might have been Philadelphia. I don't know.
Oh.
But yeah. On top of that, they're putting cardboard in the windows so that people can't watch them count.
Yeah.
But and the FBI and DOJ are like, yeah, they did nothing wrong. So they won't let observers. So in a democracy, democratic republic, you're not allowed to watch. The government says that observing ballot countings for accuracy is not important. It's not a crime to prevent that, to keep people from counting ballots and observing that it's done correctly. It's a federal crime. But who's going to prosecute them? The head of the FBI, head of the DOJ, head of all these law enforcement agencies are all part of this. They're all getting paid to help the one world order move forward.
Yeah.
And they're all getting rich, and they're going to be fine because they're the elites as well now. You know, they've been upgraded. I guarantee you, Ray and Mayorkas and Garland, all those guys are going to be multimillionaires when this is all done. If they're either going to be in prison or multimillionaires, because they're going to get paid for the job that they did of prosecuting innocent people who were against the deep state and letting people who were for the deep state commit any crimes they wanted, as long as it was in favor of the deep state. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So we're in a bad. The United States will never be the United States again. Never.
I think, I mean, shit, man.
I know that's a gut punch for people to hear, but it's true. Like, I mean, it's possible because it is possible. It's just super unlikely without God's intervention. You're gonna have to have God's intervention on this one, and He intervened at that assassination. So we might get lucky here, and God may intervene. We might get blessed, but if God stays out of it, yeah, the United States is doomed.
I was gonna say it's just crazy to be at that point in history where we're literally at the middle ground. It could go either way. Way. You know, like if Trump gets in there, I'm telling you, some of the people, Kash Patel, they're already speaking that language of taking out those corrupt politicians, that whole corrupt organization, so that they demolish the whole thing. If the United States has to be the one, you know, the United States can undo it all of it. You know, everybody's looking to the United States to be the one, for direction. Whatever happens here, you know, is if it's tolerated here, it's just going to be tolerated all over the world. But if we fight back, it's going to give everybody courage and reason to fight back also. What's it called? I'm trying to find the one. Yeah, there was one that they're saying in Fulton County that they're gonna admit that there was fraud. You know what I mean? Like that can't find the damn post though, but
Well, we watched it on video. We don't have to have somebody tell us about it or whatever. You go watch them do it. Literally
well,
watch them do it.
well, just that they were gonna make a literal like a official announcement that yeah, there was for sure fraud here, and I don't know they're gonna
Right,
give.
but think about it. Think about this. So the Republicans in Georgia, what is it? 4 years later? Oh yeah, there was fraud. Like we had that video like the week of the election. So they've known this for 4 years and they've done nothing. Once again,
Yeah.
like so maybe I don't know. I mean, if they're coming out and saying there's fraud, maybe they are trying to do something. But why does it take so long when you have 100% evidence? It's not even a debate. You take that video into court, you win. You watch them commit the crime on video. It's a done deal. Why hasn't anything been done about that in Georgia? Why hasn't anybody been held accountable, prosecuted for that?
No.
Because the FBI and DOJ stepped in and said, I fucking dare you.
Yeah, really.
I dare you guys to do shit about that. Look what we're doing to Trump. I dare you. And they all said, nope, I'm good. Right?
Well,
So the intimidation is real.
well, the timing's at least pretty good. I mean, yeah, obviously it's a damn shame that they couldn't come out with it right away and had given Trump a more legitimate reason to contest the election. But the fact that it's coming out now, at least right before this next election, at least now it might make more people aware of that shit. It can happen, you know what I mean? If they come out officially and say it, there was fraud. It really did happen. Trump was actually right, and that'll be helpful. There's another
It would
thing
be,
too.
and it'll be interesting if they do that. But why so long?
Well, you think about kind of where like just information was at that time. I really give a lot of fucking credit to Elon Musk buying Twitter, man. Like the truth is, Twitter being freed the way Elon did it really took the narrative out of their control. If Twitter's still been locked
I
up,
agree with that.
everything, Twitter, YouTube, Google, Facebook, and you already know the only one that might have been trying to say something was Fox News or Newsmax and shit like that. But I'd say about 98% of all media would have been controlled. Like the narrative would have been controlled by them. So
That's true. That's true.
so even if they try to say something way back then,
Right.
they wouldn't have had a voice. It would have been shut down as conspiracy theory. Like
Right.
because of January 6th and all that. So now they
Well,
have more of a possibility.
you can't really call it a conspiracy theory when you have the evidence on video. But
Well,
at the same time, you're right. They could squash the information from getting out and really shadow ban everything and all that.
yeah.
So I get that. So I guess I'm being hard on it because I go and look for these things and I find them, but I don't think most people do, and so they're not so much aware of it. So I could see how people would be behind the curve on this because of the intentional shadow banning or whatever, censorship of this sort of stuff. But I saw it, but I went and looked for it because I knew. I mean, that night it was a done deal. He's won. Trump has won. It wasn't even a question in my mind. I've watched every election since the 80s,
Yeah.
and I see how they roll. And this was over, and then the next day, all of a sudden Biden won, and it's just impossible that he was winning every state, every battleground state that night, and the next day he lost everyone. He's winning Georgia by 13, then he loses it. No, that's no. But I mean, I guess I'm expecting other people to do what I do and dig and go and and follow this stuff. But I follow it my whole life. I've been interested and active my whole life, so I know how this stuff works, and I go and look. Whereas most people probably don't have the same sort of oomph for it that I do. So maybe I'm
Oh shit,
being a little
bro.
hard on people.
I remember that night. Everything went basically the way it always goes on election nights. He was winning, and as soon as they announced, "Oh, we're gonna stop counting," I was like, "What do you mean you're gonna stop counting?" And
it's
back
never
at
happened.
that point, I
It's
wanted
never
Trump
happened.
to lose back then, but I remember telling my chick like, "This is not right. Something is up. There's no way they're gonna just stop counting the votes. there's no fucking nobody wins on election night. That's never happened.
And they've
Oh,
never stopped counting, ever.
yeah, yeah.
This is the first time. And not only did they stop counting, but they stopped counting in, I believe it was 6 states. And they're all battleground states that Trump was winning, and then Trump loses them all. There's never been a presidential election where a state stopped counting that I know of.
Yeah.
But 6 states, and they all happen to be just 6 states that are battleground states. I mean,
Well,
why wouldn't a water main break in Montana, or
well, the one,
or a leaky toilet in Montana, or California? Because those states aren't battlegrounds.
yeah,
So they didn't stop counting in the states that weren't battlegrounds. The only states they stopped counting in were states that were contested. They could go either way.
yeah.
But like you showed on that video, Trump was smoking him in Georgia, 56-43. That's
Yeah.
that's over. And then they stopped counting. You watch him on video rig the election, and the next day he wins it, and then the government comes in and investigates it and says, no, everything was legitimate. So you got them rigging it on video, and then you got the FBI and DOJ lying to you, openly lying to you.
Yeah. Well, here real quick, speaking of Musk and Twitter, I saw this post. I haven't seen much more about it, but I guess Musk is going to interview Trump on Monday.
Okay.
But here's more hope of what kind of my point that if Trump wins, that he can undo it all. But Musk right here, I guess, says Elon Musk says he has talked with former President Trump about forming a government efficiency commission and expressed his interest in joining it. So basically, I think that's kind of the plan that even Vivek Ramaswamy is talking about, that they just need to eliminate, they need to do what Musk did to Twitter. They can eliminate, he said, like half of the bureaucracy in the government. They get rid of a shit ton, and he already explained how they could do it, that it's not just a clear firing. I forgot how he explained it, but he says you could do it, that you could get rid of half of the FBI, half of the CIA, half of like all the bureaucracies of the entire government without it being illegal and without it actually even affecting the government. It's just waste. It's just waste money. It's more bureaucracy. It's more shadiness. So they have plans, bro, to try to do that and just stop whatever the hell they're doing.
Oh, yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, it is possible. Anything's possible, and I'm just saying what it looks like to me. The odds are that they're going to get their way. Maybe not, though. But I'll say this: make no mistake about it. We are at fucking war. We are in war right now. This is a war. It's just not with guns, but this is a war for freedom versus tyranny, and it's being waged right now. And these guys, they take it as war. So if Musk and Trump start doing this stuff and making these pushes, it's going to get stupid ugly. They will cause riots in your streets. They may cause a civil war. They may cause a world war. These people will go to war over this stuff. So, yeah, we can get through this and recover, maybe, but you're going to have to go to war. You're either giving up your freedom or you're going to war. I'm not saying actual literal war, maybe, but you're going to go to war in the fact that they're going to cause so much problems and chaos in your lives and in your cities, this deep state. If you start challenging and stripping them of power, they are going to use what they got to hold on to that, and they will throw everything at it. So I mean, they're so entrenched now that they're not giving up without a huge fight. Is my point.
Yeah.
So in order to get them out, it's going to have to be stupid ugly.
Trump has I think he has most of the country on his side right now. I battle it out sometimes with these people on Twitter, and everybody, every time you see one of Kamala's, I don't know, I guess yesterday she had a rally and she like kind of filled up an auditorium, stuff like that, and they're all trying to say, oh, see, she has all this well, not hype, basically. Yeah, she has all this support. But I was trying to make the point that, you know what, in 20, basically, if you look at it like this, Trump got, what was it, 66 or 60 million votes? I can't remember.
I don't recall.
Yeah, 60 or 66. So basically, Trump starts there. He starts with 60 or 66 million votes, and that's his support right now. But from 2020 to now, he has even more support, and we all know that the election was stolen. So Biden and the Democrats, they got way less than that. They probably got maybe 45 million, you know, based on the numbers on that night. They probably got like 40 million votes, you know, like nowhere even close to Trump. So that's where they're starting off at. So for people that think, you know, there's a chance for Kamala and the Democrats to win 2024, you just got to look at that comparison. Trump's already starting off with at least 60 million, but the same people that voted for him in 2020 are going to vote for him again. So they got to try to beat that number already. But now he has for sure the black vote. For sure the black vote is coming to Trump's side. The Jewish vote, I think, you know, based on what's happening with, you know, all the Palestinian.
And the vice president pick. He's pro-Islam and anti-Jewish.
Yeah, so Trump has the black vote, the Jewish vote. They're saying the Latin vote for sure is coming for him, because even these guys, you know, the Latin vote doesn't like all the immigrants coming over here and getting all this, you know, free money and, you know, and all this shit. People that came illegally, and they don't like that. The youth vote, I think there's more sane. The point I try to make, there's more sane youth than there is these woke trans LGBTQ supporters and stuff like that. I think there's more sane, you know, reasonable youth vote that support Trump. So Trump is coming back with all the votes he got in 2020 plus a lot. You know what I mean? So I think it looks good for him to win. So, you know, so they're gonna have to really just try super hard to beat him. You know, wherever it is, it's gonna be contested.
In a free and fair election. If it's a legitimate election, he wins. He won the last one, but he's not president. So he can win this one and still not be president too. They're not giving up on like I said, man. They're going to go to war over this. So between here and the election, I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, it's
still a long way to go though, man. 3 months is a long way, man. So
I suspect that there's going to be some nasty stuff. They've already started talking about re-upping the Palestinian Jewish protest in the fall. So right before the election, you're going to have your government orchestrated riots in the street. That's already been planned.
See, I kind of thought that was funny that those things kind of settled down already. So when they're trying to get Biden out there, like they're increasing, and now that Biden got out and Kamala's in, all of a sudden you don't hear about that shit at all anymore. So it's not making her look bad at all. Like, so it gives more credibility. It's all paid actors and shit, man. It's all fucking paid protests.
It is.
It's fake as shit, man. All right, then real quick. So we got 22 minutes, bro. So we kind of cut down our time to talk about the Rittenhouse thing, but it's a topic that I've always wanted to ask you about. I never knew where you stood on it.
Okay.
I've always felt a certain way about it. Just that, at the time, it was more my Trump derangement syndrome that was in it. I just thought he was stupid little racist kid, you know, went out there and and he's rubbing shoulders with the Proud Boys. I thought those guys were all 100% racist and all that bullshit. So when that whole thing happened, and then at the end, what happened with Rittenhouse, I thought it was sure enough just white privilege. I just thought it was all that bullshit tied into it.
Right.
That when he after he shot everybody, I remember you saw. It's still kind of funny. I still think something's weird about it. That when he escapes everybody, he passes by all the SWAT team. I don't know if you remember that video. And I think he has his gun, but they just let him walk by. They don't give him shit to him. So whole thing.
I don't remember any cops right there. There were cops down the street, and actually after the shooting, he ran to the cops.
Yeah, no, he does, but I think he has his gun, and they don't tell him anything. He just walks right by them. So I always thought,
well, it's legal to carry a
funny,
gun.
Huh?
It's legal. Open carry, I believe, is legal.
Well, I mean, just in that scenario. So I would, even right now, bro, I'll be completely honest. I really would want to switch the roles. If he was a black kid with a gun walking, I think they would have told him something. And they didn't tell him shit. So he just gets away with this. So I just thought the whole thing was just kind of like, man, screw this kid. But then after the fact, obviously, you know, I'm a Trump supporter again. I woke up. But after the fact with this kid, they're just trying to make him out to be some sort of hero. And he has like this big influence. He has a big, like, I don't know how many millions of followers he has on Twitter. And so I just always felt this guy's a piece of shit kid, and he brags about it, you know what I mean? Oh, I am the guy that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the defender for gun rights, and I was defending myself when I killed these people. Like, he's just trying to make himself a celebrity based on the fact that he killed 3 people when he was it 3 people? I think he killed 3 people.
No, he
When
didn't kill 3 people. I think only
he
one
killed
died.
no, two died for sure.
Well, maybe two,
He
but
shot
not
three.
not more
One
than
of them,
that.
he almost blew his arm off. That guy, I think that guy
Yeah,
survived.
yeah. The guy who ran up at him and pointed a pistol at him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So my whole thing is just that.
you come to a gunfight and you get shot.
Yeah, but so I guess the way I look at it real quick is just I get the
Well, I think
defense part. I get that he tried to defend himself because he was, obviously people were all of us. I think people heard what he was doing and they came after him, and he was trying to defend himself, and that's how he got acquitted. Basically, it was just the self defense defense that he used. But now he tries to make himself to be some sort of hero and all that. I just think he's a stupid kid that got himself in a situation where he could have died, and then he could have ended up in prison for the rest of his life. He was just a stupid kid, and
yeah.
I just don't think he should be looked at that way as some sort of hero or champion for the Second Amendment and like that. He was a stupid ass kid that didn't know what he was doing, and
Yeah, I don't see him as a hero.
Well,
But
yeah, some people do though. So I don't think me and you're gonna really debate or argue too much on it. But
well, I would
that's
like
just
to
my
address
point on it.
the one thing you said, and I think this is the trap you're falling into, and you got caught on this one. Like you said, you changed your mind about a lot of things, but you still have one of the things you said there tells me that maybe you're still getting caught up a little bit. And the idea that if he was a black guy with a gun, they would have did something. Now you can go online and look at all these different riots over the summers and whatever over the years, the last few years, as well as at polling places with black people with guns, and they don't do anything about it. So it's not the color of his skin, right? And that's a trap they want you to get into. They want you to be divided like that. Oh, if it was a black guy or a brown guy, it would have been different. Probably not. More than likely, a black guy and a brown guy would have had an easier time, if not the same time, same sort of experience as him, because the culture right now, police are super afraid to mess with somebody of color more than a white person. The most vulnerable person in the country right now is a white heterosexual male. That's fair game. Everybody else is basically have some protections culturally. White men don't. So he's actually at a disadvantage there, or at least on the even playing field. There's, like I said, you can go look at that. So I just want to, say that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't
Be
look at
careful
things
not
like
getting caught in that, because there's way more videos of black people walking around with guns than white people during the last several years with this political drama, and none of them got in trouble.
I guess just in that atmosphere, it was just there was riots going on literally right there. So you would think you see somebody with a gun. I mean, the rioters weren't shooting people; they were just setting buildings on fire, which is the reason he went there to defend the
Well,
building.
no,
That he crossed state lines to go defend buildings that he didn't even know nothing about.
no, he didn't. He didn't go to just defend buildings. He also came with a medical kit, and he was telling people who had gotten hurt or looked like heat exhaustion. He was trying to help them. So he was. I don't think he's a bad kid, but I think he was stupid,
Yeah.
to go there and do that. And I think it's immature for him to try to prop himself up as some sort of hero.
Yeah.
I agree with all that. He's like a dumb kid who put himself in a situation that wasn't a good idea. And then he's acted kind of egotistical after that.
Yeah.
But as far as what happened that night, from what I understand, he went there to protect properties and to help people who got hurt. Because I think he's had some sort of medical training, or I don't know, but he definitely had a first aid kit with him, and so that's what he was doing. And then he's attacked, and he runs away, and they chase him down and attack him, knock him to the ground, try to hit him with the skateboard. Guy runs up with him with a gun to shoot him. That's when he fired. Once the other guy produced the gun, he didn't fire at anybody until someone produced the gun, and then he fired. But what would you do? What would anybody do? This guy's got parents and et cetera, family members. You know what I mean? He's a human being, and he's not allowed to defend himself because he's white or because he's Republican.
Well,
right?
hold up real quick.
That's the country we want to live in. And if you defend yourself and you're a white man or a Republican, then you go to prison. That's
Hold on.
ridiculous.
Well,
And that's what
I
I'm
got a
saying.
video that kind of breaks down. I guess it's like a digital recreation of what had happened to him. Let's just watch this quick and see if it might help us. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
New drone footage and a medical examiner's explanation may have enhanced the case against Kyle Rittenhouse in his homicide trial, according to USA
I'm
Today.
assuming this is the first
With
guy?
the drone footage suggesting
Oh, that's
that
right. That
although
first guy. I
Joseph
forgot about
Rosenbaum
him.
had chased
Yeah, that guy
Rittenhouse,
attacks him.
he was not as close to him during the chase as previous footage indicated. And the medical examiner suggesting Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum twice before firing a lethal shot into his back as he reached a horizontal position. CNN reports Rittenhouse also shot at 3 people who confronted
Okay,
him.
hold on. Just right there. So we see the first guy. So that's what I've been trying to say. I think the first guy just saw a stupid little kid with the gun. And I'm not, and I guess it turns out after the fact that some of these guys, they had bad records. One of them, I don't know if you were saying that.
That guy was a child molester.
Yeah, so he was a child molester, and that's fine. Like, I'm not defending that guy and his actions at all. But to me, I think that could have been, it could have even been like an off-duty cop. It could have been somebody that, like, what the hell, stupid. He could have thought that he was a rioter. And to me, Rittenhouse would have shot him either way. If off-duty cop was like thinking this guy was a rioter with the gun and he tried to take the gun from him, I think Rittenhouse would have shot him too. And I think the way people looked at it would have been completely different if the first guy was an admirable person, that was just trying to defend the community, saw what he thought maybe was a crazy kid. So right. I think people judge it on that too. Oh wow, because Rittenhouse killed these bad dudes, but yeah, Rittenhouse didn't know who he was killing. He could have killed anybody. So it wasn't like he was all calculated and he was just defending himself. He just shot in panic. So he went there like a stupid kid, thinking he was a badass, and then when he panicked, he starts shooting and killing people.
But hang on. First of all, we're talking about that first one you just showed.
Mm-hmm.
That guy. Right?
I think that's the first one, I'm assuming.
Okay, that is the first one, but that's who you're talking about right now. That could have been
it could have been an off-duty cop. Yeah, this guy was more aggressive.
It couldn't have been because if you watch the video prior to that throughout the night, Rittenhouse has interaction with him earlier. This guy keeps coming at Rittenhouse, telling him he's going to kill him. Straight up told him, "I'm going to kill you" on video. He's not a coherent person. He's rambling and yelling and he's chasing him all over the place. Rittenhouse keeps trying to get away from this guy. This guy's following him everywhere, telling him he's going to kill him. And that's on video. Mm-hmm. So he's not an undercover cop. He knows that. He's not a stable person. He knows that. And it's reasonable that he's in fear for his life. This guy's chasing him, telling him, "I'm going to kill you." I don't know. He threw something at him. And yeah, he got shot. And that's a reasonable defense because you're in fear of your life. This guy's threatened to kill you. He's chasing you. Now he's trying to assault you. It's completely reasonable self-defense. And
okay,
I don't know
that probably doesn't do a lot of that theory that if so obviously I was kind of putting it, if it was an off-duty cop he was just trying to defend, he would have shot him anyway. But if this guy was like harassing him the whole time, threatened him already to kill him, and then just chase him around, I guess it gives more credibility to his self-defense.
Hey, I'll say this about Rittenhouse in what he did out there. As far as the shootings, mm-hmm. This guy. I mean, I'm not trying to prop him up, but for his age, I don't think most people their entire lives could have composed themselves as well as he did. Like he didn't address the threat till he had to, both times, and he didn't shoot until he had to both times. I don't know about that last shot in the back. I don't know if that video is correct or not, or if that's like, it almost seems like that might be some.
I thought it was a kill shot. He probably just shot pop, 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 and the guy fell. Right. The last shot just got him in the back.
I don't know, but so then he shoots this guy who threatens to kill him throughout the night, and chases him down, throws something at him. He shoots him. Then everybody's like, "Oh, get him! He shot him!" So now he's trying to flee and still get away. Now everybody's after him. They chase him down, knock him down, try to hit him in the head with a skateboard. Multiple people trying to attack him. And another guy runs up, pulls out a gun, and points it at him, and that's when he shoots. Once again, justifiable self-defense.
All right, hold on. Let's see that one real quick.
That shooting on the night of August 25th.
I don't know. It kind of skips. This is the last one. This one's on video.
Of Jacob Blake. He fired 2 shots at one unidentified person and killed Anthony Huber with another shot after Huber had hit him with a skateboard. And finally, he shot off most of Gage Grosskreuz's right biceps after
Okay.
Grosskreutz had briefly raised his hands to surrender before moving toward Rittenhouse with his own gun pointed at him.
Okay, I thought he shot that guy first, but it was a skateboard guy. But the skateboard guy hit him in the head with the skateboard, or tried to, and that's deadly force,
New
right?
drone
So you can
footage and a
imagine
medical
deadly.
exague's explanation may
Well,
have
to me,
enhanced
see,
the
so the
case
way
for
I
this
guess the way I
crime.
was trying to describe
See,
the
he's
situation.
trying to get away from this guy,
Yeah.
right? He's trying to leave the scene, de-escalate. This guy won't let him go.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess
He's the aggressor. That guy's the aggressor.
but he's unarmed.
Well, he threw something at him, and he threatened to kill him, and he doesn't know that he's unarmed. But at the same time, if he gets to you, you know,
Well,
what's he gonna do?
here's the way I look at this. So, yeah, the first guy was aggressive. He did that. He kills him. You know, however anybody feels about it. You know, did he deserve to get shot? You know, even if he was unarmed, whatever. But once he does that, yeah, I think people started yelling, "There's a guy with a gun." I think the rest of these guys, you know, I mean, they came and tried to see maybe this guy with the gun is a crazy person. So they came to try to. That guy had a skateboard. He was just another dumb person. You know what I mean? But I think he was probably the rapist. I don't know because I don't know what the hell was.
No,
One's a rapist.
that guy, the first guy's the rapist.
Okay, and the second guy, I don't know. They're just saying that all these guys that he shot were all bad people. They had bad.
Oh, I don't know if they're all
records.
bad people. I'm just saying that the one was.
Okay, so the way I could look at it is that I think any person might have thought more people could have done the same thing and thought this guy's crazy. I'm gonna be a hero and go stop this crazy guy running around with a gun, and sure enough, they get to him, and in a panic, he shoots them too. So to me, I would kind of I'm okay with saying that Rittenhouse started just shooting randomly, kind of just in panic. You know, so
I don't think it's panic shooting, though. He only shot the people who actually attacked him. Like, there's other people that rush up on him. He presents the gun, and they back off, and he does not shoot them.
Hey, hold on,
So
I don't know if you took your phone off of a speaker or something, but you went down a lot.
Okay, hang on.
Well, it just wasn't a calculated thing, and for them trying to make him out to be like some sort of hero, I don't know. To me, it was just more panic shooting, and he was just scared shitless. And he just
Once again,
shot.
I don't think he's a hero at all. I don't get on board with the hero part.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Well, good.
I also don't think it was panic shooting.
Now, if you saw some of these posts that these people did of this guy, so he basically came back into the news because I think I told you that he kind of betrayed Trump. Even Trump came out in support of him when he was in trial or some shit. And Rittenhouse made a post saying that he'd met Ron Paul and that he's going to write in Ron Paul in November, president. And everybody got on his ass. Everybody's like, "You fucking traitor! You know what I mean? All of us supported you, and you're going to betray Trump like this." And then he doubled down. He ends up posting a video of him recording a video of him saying, "Oh, Trump was the defender of the Second Amendment that I thought he was, and Ron Paul he's more aligned with my ideals. So I'm gonna write in, and I'm not gonna back down. I'm gonna back down from my decision no matter what." And then everybody just all of a sudden people put like a Twitter meter, I guess you do that, where you could see his Twitter followers just dropping, so you could watch it live, and they did. I guess they dropped by like tens of thousands. Everybody just dropping his ass. And then less than 12 hours later, he posted another post. "After consulting with my team, I've come to the conclusion that I was wrong in my information, and I will be supporting Trump after 100% to make sure he's elected in November." so everybody was like, "Man, we're done with you. You're just a stupid kid." And so a lot of defenders just came out, and I didn't realize that they really thought of him as some sort of a champion of Second Amendment or some sort of hero. And I was like, "Man, you guys are stupid. This guy was just a stupid little kid that should have just stayed home." And we just went back and forth, and I just made my points that I made right now to them.
All those people out there, all those kids out there should have stayed home. They were all stupid kids, right? He's not the only stupid kid out there. All those people who got shot and all those people who were running around acting the fool, everybody out there shouldn't have been out there.
and to just put it on him is kind of not fair. But I would say, so my take on the Rittenhouse thing is, I don't think of him as a hero. I don't really care about his politics now, and I'm not gonna, and I don't follow him, and I don't listen to what he has to say. It's not important to me. I can make up my own mind. But I would say this about what happened that night. I think it was 100% self-defense. He only shot the people who attacked him. A lot of people ran up on him, and when they saw the gun, they backed off. He did not shoot them. He shot the guy who hit him with the skateboard in the head, which is, use of deadly force. He shot the guy who was chasing him and throwing stuff and threatened to kill him, and he shot the guy who pointed a gun at him. So he shot 3 guys who all were imminent threats. The other ones that were gonna do something to him, once they saw the gun, they backed off, and he did not shoot them. So it's not a panic shooting, because he didn't shoot everybody who ran up on him. He just shot the people who actually were actual threats, and I give him credit on that for being able to, in that moment where your life's at risk, be able to discern between imminent threat and not. Like he could have shot a lot more people there, and then he would have been in trouble, right? He needed to do that, but if he was panicking, he would have shot more people. I'm sure his adrenaline was pumping, but it was all good shootings and self-defense. That's my opinion on it, but I don't prop him up as anything special.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe that's the one thing we're gonna agree to disagree on. I think he's just a stupid kid, and I think he was more scared than anything. Anybody could have gone in there and done the same thing. And he could have been like, I'm not trying to kill her. He could have said some shit. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess you have to be in that situation. But
okay, so reverse the roles, right, and see what the outcome is. So what if this was like a Proud Boys event out in the streets, and Proud Boys are running around acting the fool, and there's a black guy or whatever that's a Democrat that's out there, and he gets attacked and shoots the people attacking him, but doesn't shoot the people who don't attack him. Would he be maligned like this? No, they would be like, what? Those Proud Boys, those racist Proud Boys are out there causing problems, and this guy did a great job defending himself against this mob of racists. That's what the narrative would be. So you could have the same exact situation, change the color of the shooter or the ideology of the shooter, and you have a completely different narrative. And it should be a different narrative. It should be the same narrative no matter what, because the same thing happened, and that's the truth. So it doesn't matter what color you are, right? You have a right to defend yourself. It's just he doesn't have as much a right to defend himself as like a black person. A black person would have been treated completely different by the media. He would have never been indicted, never faced prison time. None of that stuff would have happened if he was black and those were Proud Boys. Right? So you can see, you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I get your point, yeah. But, I mean, on the flip side of that, say for example, not even to argue it, but say the second guy that he killed, the guy with the skateboard, say that guy was a just honorable Iraq veteran, just the guy that was just out there and saw this crazy kid with the gun, heard he shot somebody, went to go try to defuse the situation by taking the gun from him. If he had been an honorable person and a lot of people supporting him, I think the narrative could have changed against Rittenhouse in that way too. So it was just all luck for Rittenhouse that these guys weren't defendable people, and he had a pretty good chance of going to jail too, man. So I think he just got super lucky, because I think they try to factor into the prosecution that he crossed state lines for a scenario like, for an opportunity to be in a scenario like this. I think he borrowed a gun from somebody once he crossed state lines, but obviously he had a gun. He went somewhere that wasn't even where he lived at. So what the hell could he really expected walking around with a gun? He wasn't. I think at first he was hanging out with older guys with guns, and they're giving him like high fives. But at some point he must have walked off by himself and thought he was gonna be like the Punisher patrolling the fucking streets, and it caught up him. So. So I guess.
Are any of the things you described illegal?
I don't know. I mean, they say. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the exact laws and shit, but they say crossing state lines to protest is illegal, isn't that?
Allowed to be there.
Huh?
He's allowed to be there. Allowed to have a gun. So no law is broken. But yet people go, well, why is he there? He shouldn't be there. Why shouldn't he be there? He's an American citizen in America. Well,
Well,
he
I
can
guess
be anywhere he
just
wants.
intent. I mean, I get that. Yeah, if you go strictly by law, that's probably how he got acquitted. But I mean, intent. I mean, I think that was what they were trying to charge him with. You know what I mean? And
Well, but
sometimes
his
intent's
intent,
factored into a
like,
charge.
if his intent was to go there and shoot people, he wouldn't have waited to get attacked. He would have just shot people. And once again, I would say, if you reverse the roles and make that a black guy against a bunch of Proud Boys, it would be the Proud Boys on trial, not the black guy, right? So the way our justice, this illustrates the corruption of our justice, two-tier justice system. It doesn't matter what you do. It matters what you believe and what color you are, right? And people want to go, well, there's white privilege. If he was black, he never went to trial.
Well, in this day and age, yeah, I could see that too.
So I don't
yeah.
know. I'm saying is that I think it was self-defense, clearly self-defense. He's being attacked, and he defends himself. He has a right to be there. He didn't break any laws going there. He didn't break any laws being there with a gun. It's a bad idea. But everybody out there is bad actors. All these guys are bad actors. You know, like I could say it like this. Say the black guy is the shooter and the Proud Boys are out there, and these Proud Boys that get shot, they had served in the Army, right? Would they be getting that credit? Oh, well, you guys he shot a good guy. You got to go to prison. They wouldn't do that because he's black. Yeah. And they're Proud Boys and they're conservative, so they're not politically aligned with the deep state. Really, the color doesn't even matter. It matters about your ideology. If you're aligned with the deep state.
I guess I just brought that up because that's kind of how I felt at the time.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
I would say that riot right there, that's a government orchestrated riot, and he interfered with the deep state there. That's interference with the deep state. That's why he went on trial, not because of what he did there, but as far as shooting people, but because the deep state, like you said, they are paying people to go out here and do this, and I'm sure a lot of these people were paid to do this as well. And he fucked the whole event up, and now he's got to go to prison for interfering with the deep state's attempt.
No.
But I mean, you know, one guy points a gun at him, and then he shoots that guy. The guy's got a gun. Why's he got a gun?
You know, I could compare this to how I feel about
wait. What did that guy come there for? He came there with a gun too.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, all of them shouldn't have been there, obviously. You know what I mean? So the whole situation was already, it was already just high tension, man. So, but him more so because he actually traveled state lines to be in this situation. You know what I mean? He involved himself in this.
But there's nothing cool about that.
No, I know. But it just comes down to just your intent, man. What are you going over there to make? You know, it's already a bad situation. Why are you going to go over there and make yourself another person with a gun? What if you would have shot? What if his bullet would have strayed and killed the little girl like in a house far away? You know what I mean? Like, why put yourself there? So, you know. So.
What about all these other people there that aren't from there? That are paid actors that are bussed in or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not trying to defend them at all. I'm not trying to say they had every right to do what they did and he had no right to try to stop them in that sense, but he just shouldn't have been there.
I don't know.
Well, real quick, I don't know how much time you got, bro, but I just kind of compare this to the George Zimmerman thing too. The one I think Trayvon Martin that they killed. It was the same thing. He called the police and they told him don't go over there. And he thought he was the same thing. He thought he was like a security guard for that neighborhood, which he wasn't. He was nothing official. But he interjected himself in that situation. He saw this kid. We don't know exactly what happened. But, you know, you can reasonably assume that he might have gone there and be like, hey, what the hell you doing there? And, yeah, this kid had every right to be like, shut the fuck up. Who the hell are you? Get the hell out of here. And the words led to physical violence. And all of a sudden this guy says, my life was threatened, so I killed him. But he put himself in that situation. He didn't have to be there. But he was acquitted too on self-defense. I think it was some sort of Florida law too. But so to me, it was the same thing. You don't got to be there. We know what you meant to do when you got there, you know. But the law is protecting you in this case, even though we both know what the hell you went there for. And not to say that Rittenhouse went specifically to kill anybody. What's that? I'm sorry, I'm talking over you, bro. Go ahead.
I don't know if you meant to shoot.
Well, hold on, you have to cut it out a little bit, brother.
Well, you think he went there to shoot people?
Who, Rittenhouse?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I don't think necessarily he went there. Oh, I want to kill somebody. I'm going to make sure I kill somebody. But he definitely left it open. I'm going to bring my gun, and if somebody does something that I feel I got to defend myself, I'm going to kill him. Or I don't know if he intended to shoot people that try to firebomb a building that he might have been trying to protect. I never heard what his specific reason was. Like what he, I know that he took like you're saying, he took a medical kit and he was going to try to do that. But if you're going to take a medical kit, why take a damn gun? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just a lot of it. It shouldn't
he knows
happen.
it's a dangerous situation. It's not a good idea to go there. He knows, but the other guy has a gun too. So why aren't we holding him to the same standard? He went there with a gun. What's his intention to go there with a gun, right? And then he pulls the gun out first. He aims the gun at Rittenhouse, and then Rittenhouse pulls his gun up, right? And he didn't get tried. He actually came, and this guy with the skateboard attacks him. I mean, so all these people out there have bad intentions. I don't know about Rittenhouse. You'd have to read that in. But these other people have bad intentions because you see them burning stuff and rioting and looting out in the streets, and no one's holding them to the same standard as Rittenhouse. Why are you there? What are your intentions? Why did he bring a gun?
Yeah.
Right? No one's holding that guy to account of why he brought a gun. What was his intentions? You know what I mean? Like I just say, let's just be fair about it and forget about the ideology, the color of skin, and things like that, and look at what the actions are of the people. He doesn't shoot anybody till he's attacked. Yeah. If he's not attacked, he's not shooting anybody.
Yeah, for sure. I'm willing to be fair about it, for sure. I'm not even,
But it don't really matter. Rittenhouse is nothing. He's not going to have any influence on anything in the future anyway.
No, well, people made a big ass deal about it. Well, what he was doing because they just think he had influence, and that's the first time I really realized what people really felt about him. So I was just kind of my whole perspective on it kind of got brought back. Well, like, man, this guy's a piece of crap. So I just want to know what you thought about it, and I just want to make my point on it real quick.
Well, I don't think he really does have a lot of influence, and if he does, they're a bunch of dummies. Why would you be listening to a 20-year-old kid or whatever, however, at this time?
Well, these popular people that I follow, one guy, Cat Turd, I don't know. He's actually been on what's his face? Tucker Carlson actually interviewed him. He went hard on him, and then and then Anita Broderick, one of Bill Clinton's accusers that supposedly he raped her. She's one of the people that Trump brought after that video of him saying grabbed by the pussy. He brought a bunch of Bill Clinton's accusers to that debate. I don't know if you ever heard about that. So anyway, her and they're like they got way more followers than Rittenhouse, but they at first were mad at him, but then once he apologized, like they're like, oh yeah, welcome back, like you're a good kid and blah blah blah. I'm like, man, what the hell? Like I didn't know people looked at Rittenhouse that way, so. I don't know. So it just brought back those whole emotions.
Well, that's just about the situation, money, right? So he's losing viewers.
Oh yeah, for sure. And why they believe this apology? Yeah, he just knew he was going to lose a lot of influence and money. He has a book. He wrote a book, so
it's about money.
Yeah, that's the only reason he did it. But I just didn't like that they forgave him right away. Anyway, all right, Dan. Yeah, so are you on your way to work, bro? Oh no, my bad. You don't even work today. You're working today, huh?
No.
Hey, this software is kind of I don't know what the hell was up with it before, but yeah, we're over the 2-hour mark and it's good, man. So, but we could finish it right here, my brother.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't mean to get a little. I think I got a little animated with you there, but
no.
Because I had this discussion with another guy at work when it was happening, and he was taking. Yeah, he wanted Rittenhouse locked up and all this stuff, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and him and I almost got into a physical fight. And,
shit!
Oh yeah.
About this topic?
I don't know if it was about the topic, but it was about politics. But we went over this topic, and man, I mean, imagine you're going to lock up a 18-year-old kid in prison for life for defending himself.
Well, like I said, bro, I think there's plenty of evidence on both sides. Obviously his self-defense was evident. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes they factor in intent, like what the hell we're doing really there for anyway. You brought a gun, you borrowed a gun, so I can see how it could be argued on both sides. You know what I mean? Like I think he got lucky as hell. He really just got lucky.
And I would be fine with that explanation if the other guy who got shot in the arm, who pointed a gun at him, was also arrested and indicted, right? So his intent wasn't good either, but yet they didn't hold him accountable. So you can see what they're doing there. They're like, oh, one guy brought a gun with bad intentions, so he goes to prison. The other guy brought a gun with bad intentions, but he's ideologically on our side, so he gets a free pass.
No, I get that.
Right?
I
And
get that.
this is this bad situation we end up in when we want to vilify one guy for doing the same thing another guy did. If you're vilifying one, you vilify them both, or you don't vilify either.
Yeah. Well, as long as we agree that this kid should be no damn hero, and I just think he just needs to just
Yeah, he's not
disappear,
a hero.
man. He just needs to disappear, and that's it. He got away with it, and he saved his little ass and from going to prison, and that's it, man. You got lucky, dude. Just go away, bro. You're not. I think he's more of a liability to Trump than anything.
I don't think he has any influence at all. Honestly, I really doubt that he. I wouldn't worry about him. I mean, I get that he's aggravating to you, and the fact that he's coming out with this Ron Paul stuff and Second Amendment stuff and trying to be a hero and all that, it's aggravating to me too. But out of all the things that aggravate me, that's so far down on the list that it's not even on it. Right? There's so many more things to worry about and deal with than this guy.
Yeah. Nah, it was just something I brought back up because of what he did recently. But
yeah, it's all good.
Okay, I think we're good. All right then, Dan. I think we covered a bunch of good topics today, bro. So good show, man.
Yeah. Good show.
So that's it. All right, bro. Well, have a good day, man. I'll hit you up after.
All right, man.
All right, brother.
All right, bye.